Hello and welcome to another episode of Salary Voodoo, the show right here on the MMA Engine, where I, your host Monk, aka the Monkmatician, break down 3 fights from a Salary Voodoo perspective, happening this Saturday at UFC Vegas 65, headlined by Sergey Spivak and Derek Lewis. Guys, before we get into it, please sub to the MMA Engine channel. We'd really appreciate it. Like this video. Let's get right into it, guys. What is Salary Voodoo? Salary Voodoo offers stats that aim to give you a fresh, unique angle when it comes to MMA DFS lineup construction, especially for GPP tournaments. I find stats from historically unusual places such as salaries, fight positions, weight classes, etc. Probability-based and very heavily overanalyzed, I'm sure. Salary Voodoo stats are tracked since 1/1/21, and only natural salaries are used for calculations. Guys, please be sure to comment down below the fights you want to see from UFC Orlando. It's happening in 2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks away. We have a week off next week, but please be sure to check out Tapology and comment down below in this video of what fights you want to see me break down from a Salary Voodoo perspective at UFC Orlando. Guys, that makes it so much more fun when you guys get involved and I don't have to pick all the fights. It's so boring when I have to pick the fights, and then you actually are involved in the show, which I personally love. Guys, without further ado, comment down below and let's get right into the first fight. Actually, let's get into last week's recap, UFC 281. How did we do? We told you Olberg and Negumariano was going to be a fight to target, and turns out Olberg did, in fact, make the optimal lineup. Let's see, he scored, where is it? 105.75 made optimal. Next fight for Vola and Otman Izatar, the bagman himself. We told you to play that fight. That was a Bernie, some good voodoo. What do you know? Matt Frevola makes the optimal lineup with an early knockout. We told you to avoid Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler. That was going to be a frozen jack, some bad Salary Voodoo. Guys, Dustin Poirier won the fight by finish, scored 66 points. Needless to say, neither one made the optimal lineup, so we did good there. The only one we missed on was the championship fight, the main event of the evening, Israel Adesanya going against Alex Pereira. We told you to play this fight, even though I personally didn't like it. Salary Voodoo said you needed to target it, and Pereira did win, scored 92 points at 7,600. Could have made the optimal lineup on another week, but just missed the optimal lineup there. All fighters on the optimal scored 6 figures. So in my opinion, we went 3 of 4, guys. Another good week, 75% accurate on Salary Voodoo. Let's get right into these fights for this week, UFC Vegas 65. First fight, Marina Moroz going against Jennifer Maia. We've got $9,000 Moroz, $7,200 for Jennifer Maia. Let's see, women's flyweight fight. Someone makes optimal 53.73% of the time in those fights. Fight number 6, 55.56%. So some great numbers to start us off. The salary pair of 9K and 7.2K. Someone makes optimal just 48.61% of the time, guys. We are over leveraged to the salary pair by 1.78%. We do not want to see positive leverage. That means we are putting them in our lineups too much. It's just a little bit in this case, but still it is too much. The average ownership for 9K is 29.86%, and that's right where we need to be as far as ownership and making the optimal lineup. We have Orthodox versus Orthodox. Finish win percent for 9K is 92%. Decision win is more than that, which is not what we're looking for when it comes to optimal, 40.28%. 7,200 has an average ownership of 20.54%, so almost, just 9 points less than 9,000, and we are over leveraged to 2.48% on this salary, guys. So we are putting 7,200 in our lineups, 2.5% too much. The finish win rate for 72 is 15.28%. Decision win rate 11.11. Let's get into some shared stats. Both of these salaries have fought each other 72 times. The 9K salary has made optimal 22 times for an optimal rate of 30.56%. Anything over 25 is pretty good. Anything over 30 is fantastic. So 9K is out here killing it. 30.5% optimal. 72.22% win rate. Fantastic. The one bad number here, when it is optimal, when it does win, it only makes optimal 42.31% of the time. That is because it's so expensive, so that's not a terrible number, but it's not great either. Her average the salary's average DraftKings points per win, 95.96. Let's go over to the $7,200 side. 13 times optimal. That is it out of 72 fights. An optimal rate of just 18%. No good there. Win rate 26.39%. So getting, crushed here. Four losses to 1 win. 68% optimal in wins. That is very good. Scoring 94.98 points per win. Guys, Is this one going to be some good voodoo? Or are we going to get some bad voodoo? What are we going to get here? We got Bernie, baby. Surprisingly, we got ourselves a Bernie, and just barely, to be honest. We only have 12 fights on this card. Guys, this fight is number 6, according to salary scores. So we barely made it on the good voodoo side. I'm very trepidatious about this one, but it's technically a Bernie this week. I don't know how much I might regret that. But it's all one side. The 9K salary, 7.02 salary score. It's the 9th best salary to play overall. Meanwhile, 7,200 has a 10.79 salary score, 24th best out of 30. Not a good rate. But when you put them together with the salaries that we have this week, and we're missing a lot of high-end salaries, and there's no 95, there's no 94, there's no 93. That makes this fight the 6th best fight to target. It's going to have to be a Bernie because there are 6 optimal spots, as you know, on DraftKings. So we got ourselves some good voodoo? Question mark. Next fight. We've got a welterweight battle here, 8,300 against 7,900. In this case, it is Muslim Salikhov going against Andre Fialho. The $8,300 side has an average ownership of 25.19%, and we are under leveraged to this salary by 5%, guys. 8,300 is a fantastic salary to play, so you got to get it in your lineup here. Orthodox versus Orthodox, finish win percent 30.26% for 8,300. Decision wins only 21%, so you do want to see rather higher finish win percent than decision win percent on these salaries. That's what we're looking for. Andre Fialho, 24.63, the average ownership for 7,900. And we are, again, under leveraged to the salary by even more than the 8,300, 5.5%. Get these guys in your lineups. Get these salaries in your lineups, guys. 22% finish win percent, 26% decision win rate. And I forgot, these are 2 welterweight fights. Welterweights make optimal 43.75% of the time. That is very low. Fight number 9, another very low fight. In fact, the second lowest fight overall to play on this card, 43.21%. But the salary pair makes up for that, guys. 60.5% of the time, someone from these 2 salaries makes optimal. And like I said, we are under leveraged to this fight as a whole by 10, almost 11%. Guys, get these salaries in your lineups. Check out these shared stats. These guys have fought, these salaries rather, have fought each other 76 times. Since 1/1/21, they've each made the optimal lineup 23 times. This is the best salary pair to play, I believe, overall. Yes, the best salary pair to play overall is right here. Both have an optimal rate of 30.26%. The win rate is basically 50-50, with 8,300 winning 1 or 2 more fights than its counterpart. Optimal in wins, 59% optimal in wins for 8,300, 62% optimal in wins for 7,900. Both guys averaging just 96 points a fight per win rather, and 95 points per win. Guys, if the last one was a Bernie, 8,300 and 79, this one is a Bernie. Look at Bernie there with his glasses on, that wry smile. You absolutely got to love it. We've got that good voodoo in this one for sure. The salary score of 8,300 is 6.95, 7th best overall. The salary score for 7,900 is 6.97, 8th best overall. Like I said, this is the number 1 fight, at least this week and most weeks, to target for DraftKings as far as salary voodoo goes. These guys make the optimal lineup. I mean, 46 times total out of 76 fights. That is crazy, crazy high, guys. So you got to get these guys in your lineups. We're 10%, almost 11% under leveraged. Get these guys in your lineups, especially this week. I think this one's ending by finish. I think this is a great fight, and I will be targeting this one heavily. Not just because of salary voodoo, but that definitely helps. So thank you, Carl Havoc, for picking that one. I forgot to put names in these. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second. Our next fight, actually Fialho and Salikhov. This one was actually picked by AJ Philbrick. So thank you so much, AJ. Shout out to AJ. It's his birthday. It's either this week or last week. So big shout out to AJ, so you can see my face. Happy birthday, bud. I appreciate you being in the comments all the time, just as the rest of you guys should get in there and talk about what fights you want to see me break down. But happy birthday, AJ Philbrick. Appreciate you picking this fight as well. And let's go the right direction. Last fight, guys, before we get into it, hit that sub on the MMA Engine channel. We would be very, very grateful. It's me, Weezy, Brady, and Lou Betya, bringing you content several times a day, every single day before each and every UFC card. So thank you guys so much for being here, and and watching all of our stuff. It means the world to us. Last fight that we're going to pick, or that we're going to talk about, picked by Carl Havoc. This is the heavyweight main event. How could we not talk about this one? 9,200 versus 7,000. Sergey Spivak going against Derek Lewis. Heavyweights make optimal at 51.43% rate. Fight number 12 is an even 50% optimal rate, but the main event, 59.8% optimal, guys. So these are great numbers. Here's where we get into it. The salary pair, not a fan, 43.55%. We are over leveraged 2, almost 3%, to this fight. So we're going to have to tread carefully here. 9,200 average ownership is over 31%. Guys, we are over leveraged to 9,200 by 8.5%. That means we're putting 9,200 in our lineups 8.5% too much. Go down, go easy on the $9,200 salary, guys. It does not make optimal that much. Orthodox versus Orthodox again. Finish win rate for 9,200 is 30.65. Decision win rate is 42%. So again, decision win rate way higher than finish win rate. Not something we want to target for optimal lineups. 7K average ownership is just 15%. Leverage there, we're under leveraged almost 6% to that one. Obviously, if it's 15%, it's going to be under leveraged. This week, however, I don't think it's going to be. I think Derek Lewis has a ton of name value, as he should, and this 15% is probably going to be 30% in my opinion. So it'll be easy to stay away from Derek Lewis if that's how you're going to play this one. Finish win rate from 7K is 14.5%. Decision win rate, 13%. So again, more finishes than decisions, but it's very, very close, guys. These two salaries have fought each other 62 times. 9,200 has made optimal 14 of those 62 times for an optimal rate of just 22.58%. What did I say, guys? Anything over 25 is good, and we are at 22.5, so some work to do for 9,200. It does have a great win rate of 72.5%. Fantastic win rate, but when it does win, it only makes optimal 31% of the time, guys. This is a very low number. 96 points, DraftKings points per win. 7K salary has made optimal just one time less. Just one less. 13 times out of 62 for an optimal rate of 21%. Its win rate is very bad, though, as you would expect from such a dog salary. 27.5% win rate. But when it does win, guys, it makes optimal 76.5% of the time. That is a function of it being such a low salary, obviously. DraftKings points per win is 94.5. Two heavyweight bangers. I personally like the Spivak side. I will be picking him to win. I'll be picking him to win inside the distance. But as far as Salary Voodoo goes, this one is a frozen jack, guys. It's not even close. This is a bad fight to target for Salary Voodoo. The $9,200 salary has a salary score of 9.02. That is 16th best overall out of 30. So it is just below average. Just average or just below average. You know what I'm saying? 7K salary score of 9.72, 20th best overall out of 30. So a bit below average as well. Just not a great fight to target overall, guys. But we usually have a 93, a 94, a $9,500 fight to target. We have none of those this week. This is the second highest fight to play, or second largest salary in a fight, I should say. We have 9,600, and then it goes to 9,200. So Salary Voodoo here might be a bit off, because a lot of these higher salaries we don't have this week. We lost 9,300, so maybe increase it by a little bit. But even if you did that, you'd have to be on the Spivak side and not so much on the Lewis side. I like the other two fights to target a bit more. Maybe not the Maia fight, but according to Salary Voodoo, that is the way to do it. So, guys, let's get into the recap. We have barely a Bernie on the $9,000 fight, $7,200 fight. That is Moroz and Maia. Barely a Bernie. Like I said, sixth best fight overall out of 12, so it barely made the cut. Then we got 8,300 against 7,900, Salikhov and Fialho. That is a definite birdie of the card here, so we appreciate that one, AJ, and I do like that fight as well. And then the Spivak and Lewis side, guys, it's got to be a frozen jack. 16th best, 20th best overall. This is number 7. So I said number 6 was Maia and Moroz. The heavyweight main event is number 7. So these are both two fights right on the line of Salary Voodoo. So I just don't know what to do about those. I'm going to probably factor in Salary Voodoo a bit. But honestly, these are two fights that are very, very close to call. And honestly, the Salikhov and Fialho fight, number 1 overall. I think I did mention that in case I didn't, though. Number 1 overall. So that's the only one I'm really confident in this week. Like I said, we've got some interesting picks. Very high variance fight card here for UFC Vegas 65. So guys, I will be enjoying the week off. We'll see you UFC Orlando next week. Be sure to comment down below what fights you want to see. And as usual, I hope all of you enjoy the fights. So enjoy, and we will see you in the next one.